It's time for Talkin Tauntauns, your Star Wars source at AIPTcomics.com.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Talkin Tauntauns. I am Jim Lahane, and with me as always is our favorite Nicole Herview.
Hello there.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's morning somewhere.
It's not even morning here anymore.
No, but it's morning somewhere.
Yeah, in California.
You're right. Good morning, California. Or whenever you're listening to this.
Yeah.
Because you're not listening to this now.
Yeah.
And with us, I'll let Nicole do the introduction for the for our guest today.
For once. Yeah, that's fine.
No, you introduced Alex.
Did I introduce Alex?
You
All
did.
right. Well, with us is my boyfriend, David Campito.
Hello.
Hello.
You don't need to wave.
I
People
think-
aren't going to see the video.
Yeah, well, I wave all the goddamn
It's like an
time.
instinct. I don't know.
Yeah. I think this is the first time we've had one of our partners on the show.
I've brought it up, and I got a firm no.
Well, I'm honored.
Yeah, welcome.
My wife's a Star Wars fan by marriage, and so she's like, I don't know what I would even talk about for that long. So, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just a Star Wars fan from when I was a
Birth?
child.
Yeah.
Yeah, from before I can remember. So there you go.
Well equipped.
We're happy to have you on here, and happy that you're feeling better from your extreme weight loss
Oh, yeah.
surgery of a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah, those like couple centimeters of extra appendix.
I would recommend other organs to go first, but
Yeah.
sometimes
Hey, I'm
you don't
happy to
pick
get
the
rid of
organ.
it. I'd rather the non-essential one go.
Well, you got an extra kidney. You don't need two of those. I hear
Yeah,
like
true.
you
this
don't
is
need
true.
all of your liver.
That's a good point. Yeah, I
Oh.
want to save that for.
Although, you kind of want to hang on to that extra kidney just in case, like, somebody else needs one, It's like, hey, you don't just want to dump it.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like,
true.
That's one way to lose weight, though.
Yeah.
As the child of a kidney transplant person, I do understand that eventually you may need both of those, and then some.
And then some.
Yep.
You're right.
He did end up having 3 kidneys, one of which worked at the end.
Wow.
Wow.
He had his kidneys failed, and
Oh.
he needed the transplant for another kidney.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was the third. I got it.
That would be the 3rd
Wow.
kidney. Yep.
Maybe 3.
Well,
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't come to that.
yeah. that'd be not fun.
No. So, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Tired.
Definitely tired.
Mainly him.
Yeah, I did not sleep well last night for some reason.
Yeah.
But I'm up. I got caffeine. I'm good to go.
Yep. Indeed. Yeah, we're good. We're hanging out.
Chugging along.
Chugging along. Yeah, he's almost done. He's been in a class. Do you want to talk about the class? I'm not going to talk about your stuff.
Sure. I mean, I'm on my last week of cybersecurity class. So I got my, after this, I'm going to be finishing up my final project, and then I present Tuesday or Thursday, and then I'm finally free. And I can get back to a normal sleep schedule.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
You sound like you're on the more fun side of cybersecurity as opposed to my side of cybersecurity, where I need to take those hour-long classes where you click on the email and goes, which part of this email is questionable? And
I mean, we did have to do that.
You're wrong.
It's all of it.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, Oops.
That signature, people put signatures in their emails all the time. So that signature was not questionable. I disagree. That's not a real name.
Oh, Jesus, Jim. Ay. No,
That's a
funny.
made-up name.
That's a made-up
This
name.
is what you get after I had a week of solid training at my new job.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I got it. Oh, I
Care.
got it.
But we went to Six yesterday.
How was it?
So I thought it was a lot of fun. It was
Great.
my daughter's birthday present. And my wife really wanted to go. My daughter really wanted to go. And so I'm like, I'll come along. And they're like, you may not like this. I'm like, I'm open-minded. And they've been playing Six in the car whenever we go anywhere. So I'm familiar with almost all the songs. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Good. That's
That's
awesome. That's on my list.
It's not like Hamilton, but it's not trying to be Hamilton. It's
No.
like it's just trying to be a fun, like it's short. There's no intermission. And
There's
it's
no
kinda
intermission.
It's an hour and a half straight.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And it's it's kind of like it's set up like a rock concert with the story through line. So
Awesome.
it's like listening to The Wall.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's been on my list for a while. It looks really fun.
It is.
But we have tickets to see Sweeney Todd in a couple months, so that's that's the Broadway show for the summer, basically. Like that's the one. It'll be Sweeney Todd. So, but yeah, Six is definitely on my list.
I was friends with a kid named Todd Sweeney.
Oh, poor Todd Sweeney. Oh, buddy. So not the Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
No.
No.
The inverse, actually.
Got it.
I
was gonna say he's an angel, hair extension artist of I don't know, the South Side.
I would actually be interested to find out because, like, obviously kids don't keep in contact, but I do know his father still, and I sent his father Christmas cards, so
That's sweet.
I'd be interested to know if he turned into a barber. That'd be hilarious.
That would be hilarious. That would be fantastic.
Just send a note. Did your son ever become a barber by chance?
just wondering for no particular reason.
It came up in conversation.
My God.
All right. We ready for some Star Wars news?
I suppose so.
Always.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Your tauntaun will freeze before you reach the first marker. Then I'll see you in hell.
Hello, what have we here?
So I got 3 pieces of news.
Wow.
One Nicole doesn't know about.
Oh, come on, Jim. I'll have a surprise.
It's not directly Star Wars news, but we'll start with the good one because the other 2 are not good. Apparently, Sabine. What's the actress? Natasha Liu Bordizio, who is playing Sabine in the upcoming Ahsoka series, has been training with a lightsaber.
Love
and it's
that.
not
Interesting.
It's not just any lightsaber that she's been training with. It's Ezra's lightsaber.
Oh. Interesting.
Well, that's cute.
Love that.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that made this interesting is how many times have we seen even generally a non-force wielder use a lightsaber?
Regularly, like, and not just like, let me swing this thing real quick and then move on with my day.
Yeah, because like you have
Darksaber, I
Han.
guess.
Yeah.
You have
Probably
Han
never.
who did gruesome things to that defenseless Tauntaun.
Oh yeah, that was goofy.
Yeah.
How rude. How goofed.
But you have the Darksaber where
Yeah.
I don't think
You say
anybody
Dark-
who's used it in any of the movies has been a force sensitive. Oh, Maul.
Yeah.
Maul.
Yeah, Maul. He's the only one. Right?
But
Yeah.
But
don't
that's
don't
where
talk about my man like that.
that's where Sabine has used a lightsaber-like item. So I guess she is familiar with the physics of lightsabers.
I guess, but does a lightsaber and the Darksaber have the same physics? Like,
Yeah, talk about the weight of the Darksaber.
yeah.
I don't really say much about a lightsaber like that, though.
Yeah. Like, it's just questionable. I just don't know.
You said the
You're a
weight
scientist.
of the Darksaber
Dude,
because
does dark
light?
matter way more than light matter?
you remind me
You know what I mean?
completely different joke is what weighs more, a pound of feathers or a pound of bricks?
Yeah, right.
And it's the pound of
Neither.
feathers because you have to live with what you did to those poor chickens.
Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
And so that's the weight of the different swords. But we've seen Din Djarin be barely able to lift the thing.
Right.
Yeah, he hurt himself with it at one point. So
Yeah.
That was my favorite part. I laughed.
it's like, fool.
Oh, you silly boy. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting though. That will be fun to watch her with a lightsaber.
Yeah.
It'll be cool knowing, not one of those like, I see it's cool she has a lightsaber, but and knowing it is Ezra's.
Yeah.
Like right off the bat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, our second piece of news, not doing the big one yet.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Our second piece of news is not Star Wars related yet. Is that Disney Plus is removing a lot of shows off of their service, and this includes another Lucasfilm property of Willow,
I did see that. Yeah.
which just came out 6 months ago,
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was quick.
and
It was canceled quick too.
Yeah, it sure was.
well, it's one thing being canceled, but it's another. There's no physical media of this. Like,
Yeah.
what physical media do we have of any of these Star Wars shows that came out on Disney Plus?
True.
There's nothing.
None.
Yeah.
There's because I collect all the physical media, and there's nothing.
Yeah.
And so if they were to
Yeah.
take like Kenobi off of Disney Plus, it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would hope that they wouldn't do that, but
Right now they're
guess- I
focused.
guess
They
we'll
said that
see.
they want to focus on like Marvel and Disney and like Star Wars, like keep those properties, and that's why they're losing some of these tangential series. But that's their focus now. Like, if these
you have a
go away,
list?
they're gone.
yeah. Do you have a list of that so I could just for personal reasons? I just would like to see what's on that list.
I can find a list.
Great.
I do not know off the top of my head. I do know that another show
I
that
could look for it too.
my daughter and I watched, Mysterious Benedict Society, is on that list, and it literally just came out too. Like, it's a brand
Wow.
new show. We watched it maybe 6 months ago.
Oh, that sucks.
So yeah, that's like I
Yeah.
said, it doesn't have to do with Star Wars yet,
Yeah,
but this can
But eventually-
it might.
Yeah.
it might. And they like when they put Disney Plus out there, they said this will be the final repository of all the Disney movies, so you do not need physical media. This is what they said.
Like, this is the vault.
And now they're
Yeah.
going back on that.
Yeah.
Except
It's
for with the
interesting.
vault, you still have your physical media.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
So when
It's
it goes
interesting.
back going away, you can still watch it. It's not like Cinderella went away
Right.
and it's gone for good. Like,
Right.
But now
right,
it's-
right.
so that was
Yeah.
the first, or one of the depressing stories coming out of Disney. The other one had me livid. I was absolutely livid, swearing to everybody I was texting.
Oh yeah.
And it's that they're closing the Galactic Star Cruiser.
Yeah. They sure are.
Yeah, very upset about it.
Less than, it's close to a year and a half.
Yeah.
After
It's
it
a year
opened,
and a half.
it's
Yeah.
if it's not a year and a half, it's like a year and a half and 1 month, if that's a
Yeah.
form of measurement.
A year and 7 months.
A year and a half plus 1 month.
Or in like baby speak, it's 19 months.
Yeah, 19 months. It's not even a toddler.
Yeah, it's not. Poor thing. It's interesting. It's very interesting. We knew it wasn't making money. Like, we knew it wasn't selling out. We knew that. But it's rare. It's rare for Disney to make such an investment in something and then pull it. But I have a feeling that this is just another one of those things that our boy Bob Iger, whom, long may he reign, is going back on things that Bob Chapek did. And he's like, let me just pull the plug on all this stupid crap that this man did. And he's correct. Like, from a business perspective, he's correct. Still sucks. Like, it just sucks. Because the amount of cast members who were hired specifically, not just talking about, obviously, like, everyone who wanted to go, like us, who's not going to be able to go. Yeah. But the cast members who just lost their jobs, that sucks. Like,
well, they said that they would, here's a good one, they would try and find new positions for these cast members. So
good. Try.
Yeah,
try
I
hard.
know. I'm like,
please.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. These cast members, from everything I've heard, they've been absolutely fantastic. I hope they take these story elements and somehow incorporate them into Galaxy's Edge for a variety of reasons. For the people like us who haven't been able to afford or go to the Star Cruiser, that we could actually see part of the story elements, but also that would entail these characters, these cast members, to live on into the park itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be nice. I don't know. It's interesting because I'm sure you remember 6 months ago, almost exactly, I was in Galaxy's Edge for my birthday. And you texted me while I was in Oga's Cantina. I was standing with my mother in Oga's Cantina. An article about the Star Cruiser closing. You remember this, yeah?
I do remember that.
Yeah. And I took one look at it and I said,
it's fake.
It's fake because it was from Mousetrap News, which is literally just a troll site. Yeah. And I was like, don't worry, it's not.
And that's why when I saw that it was closing this time, first thing I did was I texted you. I was like, hey, is this true this time? And yeah.
I was like, USA Today isn't going to lie to you. Yeah. This time it's true.
Well, that's the USA Today was the first thing I saw. And I'm like, I texted the article to you and I'm like, this isn't fake.
Yeah, no.
Even if it was fake, that like USA Today would have a major goof up, and then you see
that'd be wild,
like everywhere. And like I follow so many Star Wars people that it was like one of those, like I'm like, this isn't good news for anybody.
And it's also very strange. It's unlike Disney for them to do this before sailings that they had scheduled are about to like happen. Like, I think they had sold bookings through December.
Through the end of the year, I think you're right.
Through the end of the year, but it's closing at the end of September, at the end of Q3.
Yeah, it's literally the final voyage will be September 28th to the 30th. So the end of September.
Yeah, and
they should have finished out their bookings.
Yeah, I mean,
instead of cutting people out,
they must have looked at it and been like, the easiest way to do this, because we have so many openings, is to just sell out every cruise between. You know what I mean? They probably looked at it and they were like, if we just picked up all of these sailings that we sold for Q4 and just put them in Q3 and a little bit of Q2, which is like now through Q3, the end of September, that would be the most economical thing to do. And that's why they paused bookings until the end of this month, so that they're calling people who had bookings. It's not the end
of this month. It's actually like the end of this week. It's like the 26th. But yeah.
Yeah, I think you're correct.
So almost.
May 26th.
And they're just trying to like reschedule as many people as they can, but like I don't know how many people are going to be amenable to that.
Yeah, it's like a big change if you schedule something so late.
Like, yeah.
Probably did it for a reason.
Yes, and also you probably have other things planned.
Yeah.
You know, like you have to change if you have flights. You have to pay to change your flights. You know what I mean? Like
it's just adding more expense to an already expensive trip.
Yeah, it's they really goofed a lot of people over, and I understand from a business perspective why you would do that. I don't know. They're probably offering people stuff. They're probably offering people discounts. They're probably like working with people, I would think, because but that's why it's so much work to reschedule everybody instead of just being like, we're done at the end of the year. But things had to be pretty damn dire for them to be like, we're just going to eliminate an entire quarter's worth of sailings.
What you were saying, I was looking it up, and I was thinking, and I just confirmed that their fiscal year, Disney's fiscal year, ends at the end of September.
Does it? Okay, that makes sense. That their fiscal year ends. Yeah.
That's why, because I'm like, a lot of companies, their fiscal year is not the calendar year.
Correct.
And
Correct.
I was looking it up, and it does this random website. It does confirm that the fiscal year of Disney company ends on the Saturday closest to September 30th.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that makes a little bit more sense. But even so, it's very un-Disney to do something like this. Close a thing before you're, a regular hotel makes sense. They're like, if they were going to have to do something like that, then it's tough because people book like a year out. So it's like, it's hard, like we just did. If they were going to close the hotel that we just booked, we'd be a little goofed. And like, that is what it is. But like, you kind of can't wait for like all the you know what I mean? It's difficult. It's just difficult. I feel bad. I'm bummed that we're not going to be able to go.
Yeah. Well, I was talking with the wife, and this is one of those things. We talk frequently, sometimes even multiple times a week.
Wow. Goals. That's
goals right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll work towards that.
Yeah. We'll get there.
So, like, it'd be the fact that this is closing so soon to now, and that it's so expensive. Like, we don't have the finances to do it now. Yeah. Nor were we planning. Like, we were definitely planning on doing it, but like, we weren't planning on doing it now. Had we known last year that this would be a limited time experience, we would have done it. Yeah. Hands down, no questions asked, we would have done it. And they probably would have kept everything booked if it had been known as a limited time experience. But now you were right. This will be booked full until it's done because of people like us who haven't done it, want to do it, and now say, well, F the finances, we're going to do it now because we won't have another chance.
People are going to go into debt for this for sure. And honestly, we might have to look at the fact that I don't know when the annual pass holder discount ends, but I might have to
it may have already
figure
ended,
something out.
Because of this.
I know.
Because there was also the Visa card discount that we talked about. And I'm like, that's probably not even a thing like now that they're going to try to recoup as much money as they can.
I don't know. But I mean, it might be once things go back on sale, it might be worth a look. But I just don't see a world in which I want to go down there in the middle of the summer. Yeah. And B, like, we just put down, like, we just booked a trip for next year. And the hotel is money, Like, we have time to save it up. It'll be fine. But, like, and also, like, it's a big number, but split it in half. And it's, like, it's not as bad. It's, like, just put $100 away every month and you'll be fine. We'll be okay. But, like, it's a lot. So to then delay saving that money by going to, like, the Star Cruiser and dropping
which is
twice as much as we're going to on, you know what I mean? Yeah. On a week-long Disney trip, right? Yeah. We're going to spend, like, double that on the Star Cruiser for, like, a weekend. And it's, like, it just doesn't make any sense, especially when, like, you're doing a career change and, like, there's just a lot going on. So it's, like, it's tough. It's going to be tough for a lot of people, but I do think there's going to be a lot of people who say, F it, like, we'll do something completely irresponsible right now.
I'm tempted.
Oh, I think we both are. But I'd have to see once they go back on sale what the over under is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's tough. It's a tough one.
So yeah, I'm pissed, angry, sad,
Same.
All the emotions. Depressed, grieving. I think I got literally the five stages of grief all at the same time.
Yeah.
Still haven't hit acceptance yet, though.
No acceptance yet.
No,
we'll get there.
Nope.
I don't know if I'll ever get there.
Jim's like, what's acceptance? I've never heard of her.
Is she after vengeance or before? I don't know.
She might be before, because I feel like you accept it and then you go, okay, I'm gonna raise hell. Yeah. Like, I don't know, man. Ask friggin' John Wick. He knows all about that.
Yeah.
So I wonder how much this is tied to the worst person on the planet being governor of Florida.
Sure.
Because they literally announced this the same day that they announced that they are not moving the corporate studios headquarters to Florida from California.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is a whole other thing that is very interesting. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, they're suing the hell out of him. Like, so I'm sure there's a lot of money in that lawsuit.
Well, they've also said...
So they might have had to make some cuts elsewhere.
Well, they've said, like, we anticipated making $17 billion worth of investments in Disney World. We don't know if we're going to do that now. Like,
yeah. And I get it. Like,
this may be part of that, too. Like,
it could be. It could be. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of money moving behind the scenes. Excuse me. Just a lot of, like, business stuff going on because this guy just keeps sticking his... I'm trying to think of a nice way to say this.
I'm like, there's... I cannot think of anything. Like this
he's putting his nose where it doesn't belong. And we don't get very political on this show, but I'm about to. It's funny that an entire political party's thing is about, like, small government and allowing businesses to operate independently with, like, zero restrictions and absolutely no rules.
And free speech.
Free speech.
We could say whatever we want. Apparently not.
Apparently not. And then the moment that a large corporation decides that they're going to do that, they go, wait, not like that. Never mind. You have to do it you have to do it like the way we want you to do the autonomy thing. It's just very, like, the hypocrisy drives me nuts almost as much as everything else.
Yeah, keep in mind, Disney World is the largest single employer in the state. Maybe second if you count state employees. I don't actually know but it is at least the largest single private employer in the state. And this is, like, literally, try not to get political, but he is, we're seeing the impacts of this.
He's a nightmare. And that whole party's going to implode. It's going to be interesting because just things that they're doing leading up to the presidential election are going to be fascinating.
Yep.
That's all. It's just going to be fascinating. Because this schmo thinks he could do this and piss everybody off. Like, just a world of people. Just, like, all the Disney adults in the country.
Which is a lot.
It's a lot of us. There's a lot of us, babes. Like, there's so many of us. Just piss them off. And like, the largest corporation, like, arguably, like, in the world. Like, this is a massive organization. You're going to piss all of them off? I don't know if you've got a shot. You know what I mean? And I love to watch them shoot themselves in the foot. Now leave it there.
Yeah. And we're not ignoring, we don't want to, like, discount all the LGBTQIA people who he is also, like, I have friends and family who are in that group who live in Florida.
Absolutely.
And I'm concerned for them. And so, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That is the most important thing, Jim. Thank you. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, the safety of these people is far more important, of course. So he's just, like, making enemies everywhere. Like, the Venn diagram as well is quite large, but it's dangerous. It's so dangerous. Like, he just, like, legalized kidnapping for these. It's awful. It's atrocious. And yeah, good point, Jim. He's disgusting.
Yes.
He's
but on to
repulsive.
I think on to good news before we go down a negative spiral.
Yeah.
Because I can keep going, but I don't want to because I hate him,
could.
and I don't want to keep talking about him.
He doesn't deserve our breath, Jim.
No. So we're gonna move on to our main topic of discussion. Apparently, we got some Star Wars released on May the 4th, which was only a couple weeks ago. We're right on top of things.
Oh, we are doing great.
But we are talking part of season 2 of Vision.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Can you hear us, everybody out there? Countless beings far across the cosmos, whether 1 or 100 million parsecs. You don't know us, but you are about to.
So last time we did all of season 1 of Visions at once, and both Nicole and I agreed that was too much to do all at once. And so we are breaking it down. Since there's 9 episodes, it breaks up into 3s by math fairly evenly.
Quick math.
Good math. That's good math.
We tried to do it and break it up into 2, and we couldn't figure out which episode to do halves on. So it's
Yeah.
Kind of hard to split like 10-minute episodes.
Yeah.
where do you split the 15 minutes of one episode into, or do you just do half of each episode?
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Stop at the climax of each.
Yeah.
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 So we are talking the first 3 episodes of season 2. The first episode is called Sith. Second episode's Screecher's Reach. And third episode is In the Stars. So as we go in, I'll have to, I didn't pull it up yet, pull up who the
Studios
production
are?
companies were, animation companies were on each of these, because they really are very, very different animation styles and storylines and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That doesn't tell me the country.
Yeah, you gotta know where it's from, too.
All right. So the first episode, we'll just mention this one, and we'll talk about them as we go through each one. Sith. This one was produced by El Guri Studios, which is a company in Spain.
Nice. Okay.
So, and I had heard, I don't know how true this is, so take it with a grain of salt, but I had heard that each of the episodes that were produced by the country were initially filmed in the language of that country. But they hired actors that were proficient in the native language as well as English, so that they could do both
That makes
dubs.
sense.
I don't know how true
Yeah.
that is, but that's what I had heard through the grapevine.
I mean, just with the accents that people had, it makes sense. Like, just throughout. Because we were talking about, well, we'll get to the second one. But we, clocked the accent immediately. And then the first and the third one also had accent. Yeah, it just makes sense. I don't know for sure, but if that were true, it would track.
Mm-hmm. So the first episode is about a Sith apprentice who's being hunted down by her former master, current master, Sithy master.
Most recent master.
Yeah, I would say that she believes that former is the correct word.
Yeah.
And he does not.
He does not accept that at all.
Yeah, he's got something to say about that.
Well, he's definitely former by the end of the episode.
That's for sure. Yeah.
So this one, this is very striking by color palette wise, and I think that's definitely what they were going for. It's kind of a mix of CGI, and it seems like direct like paint.
Yeah.
Definitely has that look
Looks
to
almost
it.
like watercolor almost.
Yeah.
Like,
You could see brush strokes. You could see, those details.
But it definitely like I love the visuals of this, especially like when she's in her own ship, how it's almost entirely white, and except for like the little splotches of color, and then when she kind of goes outside, everything kind of reddens and darkens up.
Yeah.
Once the Sith show up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, I liked that in the beginning, at least for me, that white and those little baby details that are like just very minimal that are popping out. I was so disoriented for the first like third of this episode going like, where are we? What is going on? What? And then she goes outside.
What?
What? And it's like, oh, okay. And like the more things go on, the clearer everything gets. And I don't think that's just like a fun artistic choice. I think it has a lot to do with her mindset and her understanding of like her relationship with the Force and, you know, her trajectory in life. I think her name is Lola, is what I got from the captions, if my memory serves. Because it said like Lola Chuckles, and I was like, noted. Thank you.
Good catch.
Thank you. I do the details. But yeah, I thought that was very interesting that the more things kind of filled in, like quite literally, the more clarity we got and she had throughout like the 15. I thought it was a brilliant way to kind of demonstrate how lost and disoriented she might have felt, because we feel that way. At least I did.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was so little to kind of hang on to, you know? So I thought that was brilliant.
Well, one of the things like that jumped out at me were the red eyes. Like when you get the screenshot of like the full on red eyes, and it just kind of went. It was like super quick, and you're like, wait,
yeah, it's
what
like
was
pan
that?
down.
Yeah, and then like probably 10 seconds later, you see a similar set of eyes, but it's part of her painting, and it's undone.
Yeah.
And like it was one of those like I jumped back to the eyes again now, and I'm like, I like this art style. It's very
cool.
It jumps out at you.
Yeah, for sure.
And I like the droid.
Oh, I love the droid.
We talked about
Yeah.
that boy a lot.
That droid was great. I forget what the number, what his
E2.
designation was, but E2. Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
Nice little spider ball droid.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were very into him.
It looks like a mini like separatist.
Yeah, one of the spider walker things. Yeah.
So cute.
And the part where his eye just kind of sinks in and then the gun pops out. It's like
When
mini
he
Death
fought
Star.
that, bro, I was losing my mind. I was like, he's so cute. I love him. Don't you dare hurt him. And then he gets ripped apart. And I was like, no! And then she was fixing him at the end. And I was like, good.
But he blew the guy's head off. And I'm like,
just quick.
He sure did.
I'm like, that's intense. And then you kind of see the sparks. I'm like, oh, it was a droid. Still, like, I wasn't expecting
Still
that.
Brutal.
That was pretty brutal. I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. Loved him. I liked her a lot. I thought she was very interesting and very compelling.
Yeah, for sure. I loved her lightsaber. That was a really cool lightsaber.
Yeah. Like, have we ever seen a lightsaber that probably had 2 different kyber crystals in it because the 2 blades were different freaking colors?
Yeah.
But they're also two, like the blade itself was curved.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you like
Not
curved
just the
in 2 different
handle.
directions. Yeah.
It
That
was
was very
awesome.
cool.
What a cool design. Big fan of that. She was great. I really liked her. Like, she was just immediately, like, endearing. And I love a Sith story with someone who's endearing and, like, interesting and kind of, like, leads with empathy and kindness. Like, I love that because I've read the Book of Sith. I've gotten real into it, you know? And I'm like, nothing in here necessarily is evil. It's just that people bring it to, like, an extreme length and get, like, really lost in it. And then that's where you see the corruption and the horrendousness, you know, the sidiousness of it, you know, because he's in Insidious. I still can't stand that that's his name. But anyway, yeah, it's just, I just find her fascinating. And I like that kind of led us into the next episode a little bit. You know, there's a through line between the first and second episode that I really enjoyed. And I feel like that wasn't an accident that those were the first 2 episodes back to back.
I agree with you. I think like even with the first season, there was no real accident with the way they put the episodes together. It seems like whoever, like the over producer of all the episodes, like clearly they didn't make any episodes, and I'm almost positive they didn't give anybody directions on what to do because they could just do whatever they wanted. But then you sit there and you have this bowl of randomness is really what it is. Like, how do I put this into the best order possible? And I do enjoy kind of seeing what order, what did they think was the best order. I'm disappointed we don't have a song yet. I know there's a song somewhere in season 2.
Oh, there has to be, yeah.
That was one of my favorite episodes of season 1.
Yeah, I think that was
a great song too.
That was so good.
Very catchy.
I loved it.
So since you brought up the second episode, we can move on to there. Screecher's Reach was from Cartoon Saloon. From Can You Give Me the Country?
I was gonna say Ireland.
It is Ireland.
Yes, go me! I got so excited I knocked my earbud out. I'm proud of myself. And is it Ireland or Northern Ireland?
It says Ireland.
Yes. Okay, I'm proud of myself when I can differentiate. Because at first I was like, I'm getting Scotland. Then I was like, no, I'm not. I'm absolutely not getting Scotland. Like 30 seconds later, I was like, no, I'm getting Ireland. It's a little softer in some bits, but I won't get into accent study. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it felt
You're
very
talking to the
Ireland.
deaf guy. I can either understand you or I can't, is my accent.
Right, sure. Sure. Yeah, this was a lighter, like almost liltier Ireland moment. Like, we're not talking about like deep in the south of Ireland where like the accents are bananas and you're like, are you speaking the same language as me? I'm not sure. This felt very like almost Dublin, like just like an area where like it's accessible for like us, you know?
as close as you can get to understandable English as possible.
Yeah. At least that's what it sounded like to my very like semi-trained ears. Like just a little bit. Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna say I know everything, but yeah.
I'm not gonna say I know everything. I'll let other people say that.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, listen, I work with a couple Irish people, so like that helps. It was giving me Jacksepticeye. You know what I mean? Exactly, it was like, okay, all right, this is one I can hang on to a little bit. But yeah, because at first it's like a little subtle, and then you're like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
Like during the campfire part, I think is where we like caught it really. Like, yeah, I think I know where that is now.
Yeah, it took me a minute to kind of hang on, but yeah, I'm proud of myself. Okay, yes, loved this episode. Thought it was like an interesting level of spooky.
It went. So in season 1, we had a couple of episodes which were very kiddie. Like kid orientated, and I thought that's where we were going, and it turned a right corner real quick.
Really quick. Really quick.
It did start that way, and then they get there. You. Yeah, they're going to see a ghost.
Yeah, they definitely warned you a little bit, but I do love a turn. Listen, I love a good ghost story. Of course I do, right? But I do love a turn where sometimes the ghost is a person. Yeah. Like, you know, it's like that's like a very deep line in a ghost story. Is like sometimes the ghost is just you, and it's like that's heavy.
This wasn't one of those times.
No, it was not, but it's close, right? It's like we're not being deep about it. It's literally just like that's a person who
very loud Sith.
Yeah, who's kind of probably a ghost of their former self, right? Yeah, so
totally lost.
Yeah, kind of a figurative ghost instead of a literal one. Yeah. Terrifying. Do we think, I'll pose it to the class, that was the master or the apprentice? Like, which one was it? Because the person we saw at the end became the master if they weren't the master already. I
would say that was probably the master of the person that shows up at the end. Mm-hmm. Maybe betrayed by that person or something. That's obviously just an assumption. But,
yeah, there's definitely not like a concrete answer, but I
could see that kind of a story, like she's an outcast basically because of that betrayal, and that's why the test was kind of like, hey, finish off my old master and you can be my apprentice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I apparently completely misread this episode because I thought the
really?
person at the end was a Jedi.
Sith, babe.
Total Sith.
Definitely. It's a
At
red
least that's
lightsaber.
how I got it.
It's a red lightsaber. That's your
looking at
tell.
Looking at the cast list, it does say Sith Mother. And and Ghost is another character. So Ghost is one character, which I believe is the person in the cave.
Yes, absolutely.
And so you're right. Sith Mother must be the character that shows up. The casting of Sith Mother is Angelica Houston.
Get out. That's fascinating.
I'm like, I know that name.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, the voice sounded familiar and was like immediately comforting. So like, I'm not shocked, but like I am, you know, that's fascinating. Yeah.
This episode, more than the last one, I could see where you're saying watercolors for the last one. This one definitely had a background of watercolors.
Oh, the backgrounds for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the art style, like I said, the art style like felt kiddie at first, but it worked even in kind of that ghost horror story type of your demons are the demons you make inside of you, except the one that tries to kill you with a lightsaber. That's why I laughed at the part where I thought she was having like a force vision until the lightsaber like slashed her arm. And I'm like, I probably would have been there going, it's just a vision. It's just a vision. And then I would be one of the dead bodies on the ground.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very, like, also just that exercise, right? That training exercise is very Sith because it is brutal. Like, it's, like, Jedi do some effed up stuff, but that is brutal. Yeah. To be like, yeah, it's all in your mind. Like, it's not, and then she's like, that was a real person. I killed a person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's so,
I thought
that's
it was
very Sith.
Oh, I thought it was weird, but also, like, her ship was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it was like designed like this aura of light coming with the ship, and it was like really coolly designed. And also, she only took one person, which is very very Jedi-like. None of your friends can come along. Yeah, I know they're practically slaves, but we do this.
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, we've seen it before.
Yeah, but also there can only ever be two Sith, so.
Yeah. Hence the test.
Same deal.
To kill the other one.
Kill the other one. Mm-hmm. It's interesting that it can feel Jedi-like, and again, similar to the last one, I kind of like that kind of breaking of the stereotype of like the Sith are just maniacs all the time, always were horrendous people, you know, just like always been that way, and aren't just like calculating and really empathetic sometimes and very like in their feelings. They're emo, let's be real. They're just sad.
Well, like you think of like
I like that.
You think of the Jedi versus the Sith, and the Jedi kind of try to divest themselves from their feelings, whereas the Sith are all about their feelings. But the 100%. Sith are also very self-centered, and the Jedi are very like selfless. There's the word.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know there's a good word for this somewhere.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
like the Sith is more understandable.
Yeah.
Because of that empathy.
Yeah, they have empathy. Yeah. Because they're a little selfish, right? They then see that in other people. Do you know what I mean? Like, because you're in touch with your feelings, because you're in touch with your emotions, because you put yourself, like, you literally are like, I'm going to put the oxygen mask on myself before I help somebody else. Like, that feeling kind of makes you more empathetic. Or it could. Because you feel like, oh, if I would feel this way about a thing, then they might as well. Like, it's more sympathy. But, like, you're kind of just more emotionally connected to your feelings and therefore the feelings of others. Whereas the Jedi are just, like, cold. Like, because they just won't allow themselves to feel anything. They're very logical. And, yeah, can't relate. you just can't relate, man.
Kind of hard to relate at that point.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I like them kind of showing a different take on the Sith, right? Like not to say the stories that we have of the Sith that are canon aren't like valuable, they are, but I like seeing a different take on the Sith.
Well, both of these together, you're right. Like I didn't realize like the mother was Sith, and so that completely changes my perception of like clearly the ghost evil, like screeching, trying to kill the kid.
Lost their mind.
Clearly, that's a Sith, but you don't equate it with this nice little Jedi-like character coming up and taking this kid off the planet, and I'm like, oh, but also like the first episode, you have this artist girl who doesn't exude Sith at all, but then you have the guy with the face mask come down who screams Sith, like, but
like, very obvious.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And she looks like a Russian nesting doll.
Oh, she does.
Yeah, she does. It's true. Yeah.
It's the only thing I could think of. I'm sorry.
I didn't even realize it at the moment.
She looks like a nesting doll. She's beautiful. She's stunning. But yeah, it was heartbreaking because like you love this. I love that character. And then like the training that she's about to go into, and you're like, ooh, that's gonna suck.
Yeah, no matter how welcoming that Sith mother actually is at the beginning, like Sith training is Sith training. It's not going to be pleasant.
No, it's gonna suck. So it's like I love that final shot of her with just like the tears in her eyes, because it's like, oh girl, oh sweetie, oh sweet. And it's like it's interesting because like they're not the same person, they're not the same character, but those two main characters that we get in these two episodes, like could easily have been on the same journey. Easily. You know what I mean? And it's interesting. It's just I thought it was this beautiful, like bittersweet, like very layered story to tell in like 12 minutes. Very impressive.
They're good. Like they did a really good job of telling a story, telling a complete story, wrapping it up, and you could go on from here or you're not. Like that's like I'm good with where you left it, and I'm not needing more. I'll take more if you give it to me, but I'm not needing more.
Yeah 100%.
And that's the hallmark of a good short story.
Yeah.
All right, so the third one we're going to cover today, the last one, was by Punk Robot Studio. It's called In the Stars, and it's from, can you give me a guess? This one's a little harder.
I don't have a good guess. I don't know why this is like I literally don't know why this country, like this place, popped into my head. I have no reason for it. There is nothing in it that's like this gives this. But I have two guesses, and one is a little bit more logical than the other. The first one that just popped into my head is Argentina. No idea why. Argentina just popped into my mind. My second guess that is more about the themes of the story was like New Zealand. Like New Zealand or Australia.
You were closer with Argentina, and it's actually...
That's what I thought.
Chile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought I might be a little close there, but like, yeah, just the themes reminded me of like the indigenous population. And definitely not here because of just the style and the voice and like all of that. Like if it was about an equation for, or a stand-in for like our indigenous population, it would look a little different. But to me, it was like, this might be the Australia or New Zealand, like,
I can see that, yes. You're right. It doesn't feel like it's influenced by our native population.
It doesn't. The story, yes. The
American, like Native
now.
American population, versus like more indigenous tribes in South America, New Zealand. I could see.
Yeah.
I could see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
And so this one is our first one, which seems to use physical media. Like it, I'm not wrong in thinking like this is like a claymation type.
Claymation stop motion maybe or something like that. It looked like it at least.
Yeah.
At least the main parts. The backgrounds were definitely more artistic painted, but the main characters themselves were easily claymation physical. But my favorite part of the
Something
episode,
practical, yeah.
yeah, my favorite part of the episode was the light drawings that they did towards the beginning, and I
Stunning.
really
Yeah,
liked
showing the whole story. Yeah, that was a good way to tell the backstory. I felt with the mom and how they tried to fight off the Empire when they first showed up.
Yeah, it was a good way of like info dumping, and it was both. I'm gonna use writer language. It was doing we always say show don't tell, and this was a really good example of telling but also showing, so that it didn't feel too like spoon-fed and too like
exposition-y.
inauthentic. Yeah, and yeah, you just info dump a lot of crap, and it's like, oh my god, like tell this in an authentic way. Like this is so much. Like you feel like you're reading a history book, right? This was not that. This was a very good reason for this little girl to be telling her story, and in a really interesting way, by explaining her art to her sister, who already knows all of this, right? But like it didn't feel...
Why are you telling me this?
It didn't feel like that. Like it felt like something a little kid would do. And it was like trauma processing. There was a lot going on there that I thought was really, really interesting. And a really good way to break that rule, because you kind of have to in a short story. You have to just tell people information usually. The previous two did a really good job of showing and not telling. This was like, you need all this info up front or else none of this is going to make any sense. You need to know these motivations up front, and therefore we're going to both show and tell you everything. And I thought it was really well done.
I liked, yes, like all this, essentially the exposition of the episode is in this alternate art style too. So as a viewer that you are not watching the main story.
Correct.
You're getting your background.
Yeah.
But it ties back
beautiful.
in when you get to the end of the episode, they tie back into the same art, and like you didn't think like they were actually going to be successful at anything, because it's the Empire,
Yeah.
But theoretically, I still don't know if they did or not. Because
talk more about that. That's interesting.
Well, so the episode, you have these two girls basically going into the Empire's fortress to get water, because they have no drinkable water on the planet, and they have to get it from, or the older sister gets it from the Empire. The younger sister says, wait, if we could use our mom's Jedi tricks, we could take them down. Yeah, right, little kid, that's dumb. But that's essentially what they do. And they clear the skies, and all their ancestors are in the stars, and they can see their mom's star. And they said, Mom's star can be with us. And Mom's star is growing bright. But immediately after that, two stars glow bright right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming that's the two girls.
It's at least supposed to represent them, yeah.
So, did they win?
I think they might have. I don't know, Jim, because it's interesting, because they definitely killed everybody. They killed the whole damn Empire.
They won the battle.
They won that battle, 100%. But then you think about it: if the water is contaminated, and then they just dumped all of the clean water into the contaminated water, it's all contaminated.
It's still contaminated, yes.
So, did they die?
Also, like, think about it, like, taking down the facility supposedly killed all the Empire, but they were there too.
Yeah.
So, like, how would they survive just because they're the good guys, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if we were supposed to, like, which one we were supposed to believe, right? But that ending shot, you're exactly right, Jim, of the two other bright stars surrounding the one bigger star, is how it's exactly framed the same way as like the flashback, the drawing that has the mom and the two sisters. It's the exact same like style. Like you could overlay them. Yeah. Those images. So it's like, I don't know.
And plus,
it's interesting.
the Empire's not known for being a sore loser. Or not like it is known for being a sort not known
Right.
for losing
Yeah.
gracefully.
Not gracious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Yeah,
so,
it's interesting.
Yeah. So why is the Empire there in the first place? We don't really know. Does it matter?
No idea.
Not really, but they're there for a reason. That's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
You destroy their facility, they were there for a reason. They probably still want to be there for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a complicated one because it really gives you that feeling of, we won. Oh my God, everything's great. And then they're like, by the way, maybe not.
That's it.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Did you pick up on that? What did you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of took it as they won.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But just because, short story, I figured like that's like just the end, whatever. But I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it the way you guys are thinking about it,
This is
maybe
called
not.
we think too much into things.
We think about things way too hard.
they won the battle. They won the battle.
We could all agree on
But
that.
overall, who knows? Because you're right. Like, if the Empire was there, if it was for, like, resources or whatever, they're not just going to give up that resource and just be like, whatever,
They're coming back. The Empire's coming back.
Yeah.
Probably with double the people and a lot of guns.
Yeah, that's kind of what they do.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard because I don't know. They really sell that. They sell the dream of, like, they won and everything's great and everything's beautiful and what a happy ending. But I think they peppered in the end to be like,
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Think about it a little harder. They imply that there's another ending, right?
Yes, or
like,
a second
further
ending.
down the line.
Yeah. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like that. Like I said, that gave me pause that I don't know if a lot of people picked up on, and I thought it was interesting.
I did too.
It's as subtle as you can get. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I did.
But yeah, in short stories, those subtleties are more important, right? Because basically what you're doing is you're taking an entire narrative and you're squishing it, you're condensing it, and you're simplifying it. So those little details mean more. And because that's all you have to communicate something. Like,
there's no wasted
that's the
seconds.
only room that they had. Yeah. So
everything's got to have a meaning.
Everything's a little bit more heightened. So
I did laugh when the older sister was going in to get the water. She puts down her face mask. I'm like, you are literally one of two people left on this planet who are indigenous.
Yeah, what's the mask?
I don't think you need the mask.
I don't think it's necessary.
I think they're gonna see it coming from a mile away, baby girl. But yeah, I don't know. I liked her. This was the first episode where, like, I liked the older sister a lot. Maybe because I am one. And I was like, absolutely. I related so hard. And the little sister, I was like, I'm gonna throw her against a wall. A wall, which is totally, like, to me, the intention. Like, she's written so authentically. And just, like, I don't know how you guys felt about her. But my God. I was like, I'm going to toss her over the edge. Like, just let her go, man. Not actually. But, like, because obviously I'm rooting for both of them. I am. But I'm like, she's going to grow up into, like, a badass, and I love this for her. Like, she is so confident to a fault. But holy God. I don't know. How did you guys feel about her?
The older sister?
Both of them.
Both of them. Well, I mean, they were great contrast, hopeful and then pessimistic. Young and hopeful, older and pessimistic. But yeah, I mean, the kid does prove herself in the end that she wasn't wrong.
She wasn't.
They did have this force ability that their mom did have, and yeah, I mean, you need a little hope.
Yeah, you do.
Rebellions are built on hope. Remember? So.
I've heard that somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere that was said. I forget. I didn't come up with it.
Are you sure? Because I feel like
I should be a writer.
You should write
what am
that
I
down.
doing?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
I felt
yeah,
I felt they were authentic. Like the little sister wanting to help, thinks she knows best. Kind of like, yeah, like I understand you're the older sister, but I know what needs to get done. You're clearly not listening to me. So I'm just going to go do this because I know it'll work. It didn't.
Yeah.
Which I think also works for the story, that the little
Absolutely
sister
does.
was not able to do anything, and kind of give the motivation to the older sister to jumpstart her Jedi-ism. I enjoyed it. I liked the story. I liked them. The claymation was off and on for me throughout it. It was like sometimes it looked like I was looking at toys, other times it worked within the setting.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it looked beautiful. I don't know what species they were supposed to be. I don't know if that's a new one that we just don't know about. Like same thing with the little.
All dead.
There's a little girl.
So...
Well, yeah, they're all dead.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's true.
There's the little fish girl thing
from Screecher's Reach.
Yeah, that I was like, I don't know who that is.
Just a made up species.
Like that's a tadpole. I don't know. Very interesting, but it's also like those two felt like they were like a long time, like before they both felt like they could happen like before like the Skywalker saga, whereas this one is in the Empire. We know exactly when this is. So it was interesting that this is the one that is placed in a time period we know about, and we have like ties to, and yet we don't know the story, which I think is, and it feels like not the most canon of the three, but like this could very easily have happened. We don't know about it. Like,
just some backwater planet.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's what we talked about.
Another planet ravaged by the Empire. So,
yeah. Tale as old as time.
Yeah, that's what we talked about with season 1. Is like they call this non-canon, but really they don't negate canon at all. They don't touch canon at all, which means that they are perfectly within the realm of having taken place within the Star Wars universe. Like the Sith one, we knew the Sith were running rampant. We've heard about the Sith Wars back in the pre-High Republic days, and so by having Sith run around, it just makes sense. Like, how many Sith did they have? We don't know. It could those stories easily could take place. Season 1 could any of those could easily have taken place. The only one I know of in season 2 here that has a character that we know about is one about Wedge Antilles.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so
that makes an appearance in one.
Fun.
So that's that would be the only one that I would be curious to see how that interacts with canon. But you're right. Right now, I see nothing that contradicts canon, because one species on one planet on a galaxy-wide empire, easily fits in there.
They feel canon adjacent, as I like to say. Like there's no reason this couldn't have happened, like in canon. So all three of them really, because it just depends on what time period we're talking about. Like any of those could have happened.
It's true. Like Sith, like you said, like there were Sith running rampant way back in the day.
Yeah.
And even at the end, she says more will come. So it implies that there's definitely more Sith.
Yeah.
So it could easily be pre-High Republic days when all that was happening. Screecher's Reach could probably be anywhere, really.
Really could. Could be anywhere. So they were good. All three of them, I think, were really strong. Very enjoyable.
Yeah. I didn't dislike any of them.
There was one last season we both hated, wasn't there? I don't remember which one it was.
It was the one. I have it pulled up.
Yeah, please.
Toby.
We were both like, Toby. Hated it.
Which one was the Toby one?
Oh, it
Toby
one
was
about
the
a droid.
Pinocchio.
Oh, that one, the Mega Man looking one.
Yeah, yeah, it's all coming back to me now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we both were like, "That what a nightmare! Like what a no, not for us." I think was what we landed on. Just like clearly not for us.
That one I was able to accept just simply because I knew like these have no ties to real canon,
Oh,
so
sure.
it's just a fun side story, you know.
Sure. Sure.
But yeah, I think that was one of my least favorites of season 1.
Just not the strongest. Not in terms of like execution. Like I think the studio like did a good job. It's not like that, but like it's just not. I was not the target audience for that.
Nope.
At all. No, not for me. Thanks.
All
God bless.
right. Do you have anything else on these three?
Me?
You?
Yep.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well done. Good job. No, I enjoy it. Me neither, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think we talked about these episodes for longer than the runtime, which is always a real good sign. We've done great.
They done
But
good.
no, I think like they were solid. 3 solid episodes.
They did do good. And I really hope that they continue with this Visions
Yeah.
concept, because I enjoy seeing all these different studios' takes on Star Wars and what they can do with them.
Yeah.
It's just all the different animation styles, all the different storytelling styles. Definitely a fun concept.
Yeah, I like
it'd be cool to see
the
that.
global reach, what we're getting here.
Yes.
Love
that.
Because it's a little different than the anime, since you have a very different, people growing up in Chile have a very different background than people in Ireland, than in Japan, than in Spain. Like, you get all of these fantastic, like, backgrounds incorporated into their work, which we are seeing kind of that dissemination here. And I love it. I think it's great. Like I said, I've greatly enjoyed these. I'm looking forward to our discussions on the next 6 sometime this summer.
At some point, who knows? Yeah, I do think it just cements. I like the investment in animation, just across the board, right? I think that there's a lot of, like, unfortunately, talk about. I think it was JPEG who literally said, like, in a roundabout way, said animation was for kids. And this shows that is simply not the case. It can be. It's great for kids. Yeah. But it's also definitely high art. Like, there is, like, it can kind of range from, lowbrow for children. There's a comma in between those two, or slash in between those two, like, whatever. Or just really high art. Just beautifully done. And everywhere in between. Animation is a medium, not a genre. And just
you can just
really cements that.
You got The Simpsons and The Family Guy, which are not for kids. They are animation.
Not at all.
Like,
yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
They're just means of telling a story.
Yeah. There's a reason that the person who had that opinion is no longer the Disney CEO. So.
Who?
Don't know that guy. Don't know him. Anyway. But yeah, I love that this is just that's my final thought. Sorry. But yeah, I think it's good to show that and showcase that in such a really visceral way. Yeah. Love it. I love the series. I want to see more of it. I'd love to see more things like it, not just in Star Wars.
I would love if they continued some of the concepts that they've come up with in Vision so far. Like, there was one episode in the first season that I really thought could easily become a full-length show.
Oh, yeah, we had talked. That was probably, like, the one that we had talked about. We could get into it.
The Ninth Jedi was the one that they like, set it up.
100%.
But then you also had the Duel.
I take it back.
You also had the Duel, which they released a book.
Love that. The Ronin.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Ronin. Yeah. And there's another one in this season that I feel like they easily could turn into a full show as well. At least one.
Yeah.
I haven't watched any more of the season, so I don't know.
Me neither.
I was recovering from surgery, so I had a lot of time to watch
drastic
things.
weight loss surgery.
God help me.
Yeah, I had to celebrate May 4th somehow.
Yeah, I said that. I don't know if I said it on the show, but I was like, very, very Vader of him to, like, remove a body part on May 4th.
On May 4th.
Just really just on brand.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
All right. Well, you can find us on Twitter at Talkin Tauntauns. You can email us, talkintauntauns@aiptcomics.com. You can join our Patreon through AIPT Comics and join us on Discord. You can leave us a 5-star review on any of your favorite or non-favorite podcast hosting platforms. And my mind went blank. We are not having a show next week because of the Memorial Day weekend, but we will see you again in 2 weeks.